Welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. So, Andy, any big plans for the holiday weekend?
Not a holiday for me, Greg.
Oh, yeah, you're Jewish.
Well, yeah, there's that, but it's really, I got to get back out on the yacht for a couple of follow-up meetings from earlier this week.
More meetings?
Yeah, you know how it is. Last night I had some ideas. Today he had some ideas.
He?
Yeah, he's got a lot of ideas. Most of them really, really good. And you know how he is. He gets so excited about him. Next thing you know, you're taking the helo to the yacht.
I hear you. Anyway, don't you have a halftime report to do?
Yeah, for now, I guess. High school senior pretends to be pregnant for a school project. Greg, you referred to Toppenish, Washington as the birthplace of Napoleon.
Yes.
Yeah. Napoleon, of course, born in Kenya, as all great world leaders are.
I was referring to Napoleon Jackson. He was a star quarterback at my high school.
Mm-hmm. In Toppenish, Washington?
He moved around a lot. Army family.
Did he?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why they call him Napoleon. Army brat.
Yeah. Also, Greg, I'm a little scared that you really do believe babies are made of wire mesh and cotton quilt matting.
It's true.
Say, no.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's why I never go near a craft shop. It's so stupid.
Nick, I think the stereotypes Gabby Rodriguez said she was fighting were the nasty things people said about her because she was pregnant, like, quote, her attitude is changing and it might be because of the baby. So I think she meant the stereotype that pregnant women are awful.
Sounds like a fact to me.
Yeah,
They get a little grouchy. Huh?
I don't know. Crystal, I know you think what Gabby did was great, but why not tell your boyfriend's parents? There's no reason not to. It's just mean.
Yeah, I agree. That part of it was kind of mean. But overall, I think it was quite courageous.
Okay. Seinfeld and Trump. First of all, Greg, say what you want about Eric Trump. He worked himself up for nothing to become executive vice president at the Trump organization.
It's amazing. To overcome those obstacles.
By his bootstraps, Greg.
Yes.
Yep, his gold and platinum bootstraps.
Yes. The guy, you know the upside about that? Got his dad's hair.
Not really.
Oh,
well,
yes.
He styles it a little better.
No, all you got to do is look at young Trump.
Different
Look
son,
at old pictures of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's the same trajectory.
Do I have to?
I have some in my locker.
Do you? Really?
Come by later.
Perhaps after the show over a nice Chablis.
Yes, absolutely. I'll dress up as a pregnant lady.
You always
I'm
do.
in, but I'm totally in, you guys. But that Chablis better be nice. Better be like a 1998.
It's role playing Friday.
Nick, you said you're glad that Trump went after the marriage ref. I am too, because it really pisses me off that they have a fact checker on that show.
That's true.
And they give absolutely no credit to Red Eye when we're the ones that started that.
I didn't know that. I haven't seen the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever seen Pardon the Interruption?
I don't follow.
Well, I'm just saying that they have a fact boy, stat boy, I guess they call him. Tony Reale. He's been doing it since 2001.
I've never. What channel is that on? Like Discovery or something?
Something like Espionage, something like that. I don't know. I think it's Latino.
What's ironic? There's no fact checker at MSNBC.
Nice.
They can take that.
Oh yes, they do. It's called Media Matters.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they get the facts for them. We'll be right back. No, we're not. We're actually doing halftime. I was kidding.
Andrew, as Crystal pointed out, Seinfeld did make a donation to St. Jude's and the Eric Trump Foundation, so isn't it kind of a wash, even though we canceled?
No. I'm sorry. You're supposed to show up for the kids' hospital. Show up at the kids' hospital.
All right. Well, I kind of agree with you, and here's why, Crystal. Crystal, you said Seinfeld did the right thing, but it's Trump's son's foundation, so do you blame the son for the sins of the father?
I mean, I don't think Trump Jr. has disassociated himself. Again, I think this was ultimately about Jerry Seinfeld's brand more than it was really about the principle.
Right.
He gave the contributions. We're talking about showing up not for kids, but really for rich donors, aren't we? And so I don't feel that's
I don't think so. We're showing up for the kids, Crystal.
Well, and also, I think I mean, if we're going to be honest here, I believe it's Trump's son's foundation in name only. I'm sure Trump Jr.
Cobbled
together some money to help the kids.
Rich donors have to get kids somewhere.
I'm sure. No, look.
I think that's what this is about.
I'm sure it's good charities. I didn't do the research.
They are good charities.
But the fact is, I still believe Jerry just didn't want to go to this thing. He always he just sends the money out there, which is what you're supposed to do when you're really, really rich. Right. And he wants to sit home in his tacky combination, high tops,
and eat Cheetos
tight jeans. Yeah, and then watch the Mets.
Yeah, I think
comedy
you're
and
right.
cancer benefits. Comedy and cancer is very tough to be funny.
Is it?
Yeah, I did one in my.
Did they give you a list of things you can't say?
Yeah, exactly. They had a girl go up before me, a young girl, and sing a song who was dying. Then I had to go on.
We'll just leave that another time. Thanks, Nick.
Single tear.
Yeah.
Andrew, you said no legitimate conservative is questioning where Obama was born. So why do 45% of Republicans in this latest New York Times CBS News poll believe he was born outside the U.S.?
Because Obama won't come forward and address the issue. He treats people with arrogance.
What are you
and
talking?
disrespect.
He's shown his certificate of live birth. He said over and over again he was born in Hawaii. What more is he supposed to do?
Well, you listen. I think it's a nonsense issue. I think it's a nonsense issue. I think he was born in. Well, Kenya. No, I think in Hawaii. We all know it. It's been proved. And you know how people are. Half the people think that 9/11 was done by George W. Bush in a plane with a mission accomplished flag flying.
I have a new theory that Obama was born in Tower 7.
Interesting.
I'm putting the stupid conspiracy theories together.
Well, then by that
it makes it easier for people.
By that theory, he is only 10 years old and therefore not legally allowed to be president. Yes. Now we got you, buddy.
Nick has a theory and he's itching to tell it.
The birth certificate is to distract away from people that went to college with him. Nobody can vouch for his grades or his papers. How about that? Never mind the birth certificate. I want to meet somebody who went to school with him.
I know. I actually know someone who went to Harvard with him.
Oh, maybe you want to bring him on this show so
I really
can
don't.
meet him too.
I really don't. Raising the drinking age has led to inexperienced drinkers. Greg, you said on the heels of Congressman Bob Lynn proposing a bill that would allow 18-year-olds in the military to drink on Alaskan soil, The Nation has published an obvious follow-up question: why can't every voter have a beer? Congratulations on being the first person to refer to National Review as The Nation.
That was in the prompter. That was in the prompter, my friend.
Yes, it was, Mr. Burgundy. Yes, it was.
Take a look at it. I know what I'm finding the script.
I know it was in the prompter.
So why are you bugging on me, man?
Because you're the one that read the prompter.
Well, maybe I thought it was in The Nation, you jerk.
Well, maybe you did, and maybe it's my job to correct you, you stupid fool.
Well, maybe you should say the dude who put that in the prompter, who wrote that thing, that's their fault.
I don't know who wrote that thing. It's not my fault.
Who wrote it then?
It's probably Tom O'Connor.
I don't know.
Tom O'Connor wrote that?
Yeah, I think so. Let's just move on.
I think Bill's blaming Tom O'Connor.
Let's just move on. Clearly, Tom is in the wrong, and we will punish him at the proper time.
I gotta wrap up, so let me finish here quickly. Andrew, when Greg asked you if you'd be more or less of a drunk if you'd started earlier, you said, "Oh, I started really early." You understand he meant earlier in life, not earlier tonight.
Oh, wait, that changes everything.
Yeah, I feel like you didn't get that. And the British Columbia human rights thing with the comedian. Fact, every country that doesn't have the First Amendment sucks. Fact, only America has the First Amendment. So fact, every country except America sucks.
Interesting point, my friend.
That's all I have to say tonight.
That's finally he makes some sense.
Thank God.
USA. Everybody.
We're going to get letters, Andy. We're going to get letters.
We had to suffer through that halftime to get to that.
All right. Baghdad.
All right. Coming up, George Wendt is dead. Tired of people calling him Norm. But first, what's former Extreme and Van Halen frontman Gary Cherone up to these days? Well, I'll ask him that. It's one of many questions I wrote down on a piece of paper earlier today. That's a look at the great song Just War Theory from the great new band called Hurt Smile. I played while working out, shirtless in my rec room. But that's really none of your business. Anyway, you may remember their lead singer from Extreme or from his time in a tiny garage band called Van Halen. What happened to them? I think they're opening for Criss Cross. Anyway, Hurt Smile's self-titled debut album came out earlier this year, and it's being called a raw sonic sucker punch to the face, which is something I pay for in the West Village. Please welcome the band's lead singer, Gary Cherone. Gary, great to see you here. It's great to have you here, actually. Who else is in the band with you?
My younger brother, Mark.
Oh, so
more talented younger brother, Mark.
Oh, that's a good thing to say, because you don't want to end up having a rift like in Van Halen.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like for you going into Van Halen? Because was it like going from, I don't know, something healthy and wholesome into something like bottomless and evil?
Well, Extreme might have been a little more healthy, but we're in maybe a little less wholesome.
Yeah.
Going into Van Halen, that was a bit tough because 96. Everyone was expecting David to get back in the band, and then the guy from Extreme.
Yeah,
the guy that sang more than words.
Yeah, exactly. That was tough. It must have been a tough crowd, tough crowd. But that didn't stop you from the groupies.
No.
Good. No. I want to talk. You do something very special, and I got to give you major props. That's a musical word. You wrote a song called "The Murder of Daniel Faulkner," and tell me about this.
Actually, it started off as a writing exercise, and it was inspired by Dylan's Hurricane, and I wanted to write a kind of storytelling song. I don't do that often, but just I've known about the subject for years.
We're talking about the victim of a very famous cop killer that all the celebrities glom onto, Mumia Abu. Yeah, I don't bother to know his name.
Right.
But
I find it ironic that no one knows the victim's name.
Exactly, right. And this is what I find interesting. There's all these celebs who have glommed on the free Mumia crap. You're like on the other side alone.
Yeah. I'm the third guy in Van Halen. No one likes me.
Yeah.
Then I choose the wrong side of the subject.
But you are. I like this because this is very brave. What you're doing, you're choosing not to be fashionable. You're choosing to be right.
Well, I looked into the murder, and I don't think you have to look that far to find out the facts of the case. Yeah. And I think a lot of people on the left that they're jumping on the politics of the the anti-death penalty. Yeah. And they might lose the fact that there was a murder. Yeah.
Well, I think we're in a sad place where the killers are more romantic than the victims. Yeah. People like that. I mean, it's in the imagery of pop culture. Nobody I mean, Charles Manson is on T-shirts. What's his name? Che Guevara. So I got to ask you, what was your favorite Van Halen song?
Van Halen song, probably the Dave stuff. Yeah. Mean Streets, Unchained, Romeo's Delight.
Now, are you planning any?
So I'm a big Sammy fan.
Yeah, Sammy's great. He was on our show talking about UFOs. Strange. Yeah. Any new recording plans coming up?
Extreme later on in the year, doing some writing. But right now, Hurt Smile, we just put out the record.
Yeah. Explain the sound for people who haven't heard it. How would you describe Hurt Smile?
Three-piece hard rock band, a lot of classic influences we were talking about. Yeah. Queen and the Who, Zeppelin, stuff we grew up on. I'm not saying it sounds like that, but that's.
What are you touring? Planning on?
Yeah, we're going to be in New York, July 21st at.
Where? At the Bowery, at the Knitting Factory, at
the Manhole.
No, BBK.
That's a great place.
Yeah, we're going to be on tour in America.
That's a great place.
We're doing Japan. We're doing a rock and relief tour, and Hurt Smile's going out there to help the cause of some of the victims and reconstruction and stuff like that.
Can I ask you? I got time for one last question. What does Hurt Smile mean?
Hurt Smile is an old childhood term Marky and I came up with. When someone fell down playing football, everyone would laugh, and they try to hide the pain with this little kind of fake smile. A little quiver in the lip.
That's me every night on the show.
That is true. That is true.
Actually, Pinch shows it every night.
Yeah. Pinch physically unable.
Do we at Pinch have a question for Gary?
Nothing to see here. Try to ignore the man on top of me. Yeah, so what is this rock and roll, and why do the kids seem to like it so much? I myself prefer a nice bossa nova, but I'm ready to open my mind.
It is a fad.
Oh, okay.
All right, we got to go. Thank you, Gary. We got to move on. Remember to check out the new Red Eye podcast. New one every day. Catch them on FoxNewsRadio.com. Click on Red Eye. Tonight we talked about stuff I cannot remember. Oh my, how to score prescription pills. What did I just say? Anyway. Legally. So last night I told you how much I enjoy being cradled in the arms of dozing truck drivers. I do. But I also love charity, so let's get to my latest piece of art. This is called Unicorn at Cleanup. It's based on a weekend I spent at Unicorn Spring Training. I woke up covered in pine tar and pixie dust. Anyway, the winner of this delightful picture is Ms. Courtney Ernster, who actually upped her bid for this piece of artwork to $1,000. Well done, Courtney. She paid $1,000 for that. You're going to get the picture shortly, but you have to send the check written out to Taps, to me. Now we're going to show the new piece of art. Here we are. It's called Unicorn with a Mop. It's a unicorn with a mop. And you can tell because, as you notice, I wrote mop right there, pointing at the mop. So you didn't think it was like a pom-pom. So you have till next Friday to beat that bid, or register a bid, which I think the starting bid's at $500. So email your offer to redeye@foxnews.com to be considered. And as you know, all the money goes to TAPS, a nonprofit group that provides grief counseling and support programs to families of fallen soldiers. You can go to taps.org to learn more. And let's not forget the real message. It's not about charity. It's about me getting a discount on consumer electronics. Hey, aren't you the guy who does charity? Yeah. Here, take this CB radio. Thank you, sir. Will you make love to me, Greg? Now you've gone too far, sir. Just give me the free CB radio and back away. That happened last night, actually. We'll close things out. I still like the old CB. With the post-game wrap-up for TV's Andy Levy, see clips of recent shows. Go to foxnews.com/redeye. Well, there's no Red Eye this weekend, but you can catch a brand new show. On Monday, we've got Ann Coulter, the comedian actor Michael McDonald. He's very funny. And, of course, Nick Gillespie, who's always strange. Comfortable on the show? Time to go back to TV's Andy Levy for the postgame wrap-up.
Thanks, Greg. Hey, Nick, what's your Showtime special all about?
What's it about?
Yeah.
It's just what you saw, only about an hour's worth of it. Hate and anger for no reason, and women. But it's on April 30th, 9 o'clock on Showtime, and that night I'll be at the Pantages Theater in Minneapolis. So, so it's a big night for me.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the Pantages Theater was in L.A.
No, Andy, it's in Minneapolis. But it might be. I think it's a franchise actually.
Yeah.
There's one in Vermont too.
I think you're going to go to Minneapolis and there ain't going to be no show.
Yeah, it's already almost sold out.
Yeah. Okay, good luck with that. Hey, Andrew, what's going on with Clavin on the Culture?
Oh, Clavin on the Culture. Come to pjtv.com and you can see the excellent new one. It's a 3-minute informational video called How to Behave During an Islamic Massacre. It's like how not to lose your head when you're losing your head.
Excellent. Sounds very uplifting.
That's what I'm all about, Andy.
I think I will have some cocktails and watch that. Hey, Crystal, who sucks the most this week?
Certainly S&P, and actually your viewers, being such Huffington Post readers, probably already saw my post there. But in the business section, I talk about how S&P downgrading the U.S. outlook, which I actually don't disagree with, reminded me of how much they suck and how they caused the financial crisis in 2008. So Huffington Post business section for more.
You know, none of us knew what that meant.
No, I agree with her.
No, actually, Nick was not at all.
Money with that one.
I'm vaguely intimidated.
I put all my money in wacky packs.
Hey, I'm gonna go start my weekend.
You do that, buddy. Party on, bro down, jerk. Still going, right? Okay. Crystal, great job. Bill, you suck. Andrew, awesome. Nick DiPaolo, always a pleasure. I'm Greg Gutfeld. Bye.